Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise from Al Manisterli Palace. Well, plans and drawings by Napoleon's scholars evidence that the Salamlik was built atop the ruins of a mosque and that the Nilometer had an archetypal bubble dome. At its next rebuilding, the bubble dome was replaced with a pointed vault inspired from 18th century painting by Danish traveler Frederick Ludwig Norden. Accidentally destroyed in 1825 following an explosion in the nearby Barut Khana or powder factory. The vault was refitted using Norden's painting as a reference for the second time. We'll be talking more about therapeutic and ecotourism here in this episode, and more about the Nilometer and Mansterli Palace and the Rhoda Island, this beautiful location in Maniel in the heart of Cairo, with our dear guests. Now we have with us Hoda Saad Ahmed and Mu'min Osama Muhammad, and they are PR representatives at the Egyptian Association for Therapeutic Tourism and Ecotourism. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mu'min, let's start with the ecotourism. It's a different, of course, approach for tourism in Egypt. In what areas can ecotourism be practiced?
Yes, actually, ecotourism is nowadays a market is developing in Egypt. So when we are talking about ecotourism places that can be practiced, there is a lot of places alongside of the Red Sea, like Basata Eco Camp. This camp is fully generated by environmentally friendly. So there is a lot of other eco camps, eco lodges in Siwa Oasis. And when we are talking about Aswan, the Feluka in Aswan, that from Aswan to Komombo, it can be practiced as one of the eco tourism practicing in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Hoda, dominated by beautiful desert and divided by the world's longest river, of course, the Nile. Natural travel in Egypt is something beautiful to experience. Tourists can enjoy visiting nature reserves, stay in eco-lodges, visit Egypt's national parks. There are a big number of springs that are estimated all over Egypt, whether in Hilwan, in Ain al-Sira, in Fayoum, in Al Rayyan Valley, in Sinai, in Al-Bahira, in Siwa, in Al-Dakhla Al-Kharga, in Farafra, in Gulf of Suez, Attara, Natrun, Wadi Natrun or Natrun Valley, and elsewhere. Talk to us about these springs and the way they make for therapeutic and ecotourism.
Okay, Egypt is full of a lot of natural places that are undiscovered until now. Many places. We have about 1,300. It's for
Springs?
Places, springs. For springs, it's 1,356 springs in Egypt, from the south and east. Near Cairo, there is Hilwan, and there is in Siwa also a lot of springs over there. It have many hot water. Some has salty water, sulfuric water, and some has sweet water. It's cure many diseases also. It can cure skin disease, liver disease, and many diseases related to wounds like rheumatoid and rheumatism disease also. We are working on this to let people know about unknowing places that many people or tourism not focus on this exactly, and it can bring to Egypt a lot of national income by the more visiting and the more promoting about these places.
Very true.
Mr. Mu'min, what other hidden touristic treasures that are not well known until now?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of the hidden places in Egypt that is not discovered till now. We have the black and white desert. It's really great place to visit, and Halab and Shalatin Triangle, and as well there is a lot of places in the oasis of Egypt. There is a cave as well called the Desert Breath. It's in Hurghada. It's in the middle of the desert that you can find a pool of water, and it's really a beautiful place to visit.
Also, I can add the Lost City in Alexandria. It have a lot of art inside the water. If we focus more about this, it can bring more very famous divers from over the world to see our ancient Egyptian and the ancient treasure inside the Sea of Alexandria.
That would be Roman treasures, or what
It's called
treasures
the
are we
Lost
expecting to
City
see?
of Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a city.
Greek.
It's a whole city under
Whole
the water.
city under the water of Alexandria. It's made of artifacts of granites, have a golden coins underneath. A lot of divers know about it, but I don't know why no one make a good promotion for this. It can bring a lot of income to Egypt, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
More effort needs to be done and
Yes,
focus on that.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we need more promotion, more advertisement. We need more focus highlighting these
Yeah.
places.
Hoda, Egypt was a country with the highest rate of hepatitis C globally, and it has developed an expertise in treating it now. There is the presidential initiative to cure Egyptians from hepatitis C. Now it is looking to share its know-how as well as locally produced low-cost drugs with foreigners having trouble getting treatment at home. How should this be approached? How can we benefit from the how can therapeutic tourism have a part in this?
We start in Egypt this at 2017 with the campaign called Tour and Cure. This started when the Argentinian football player Messi came to Egypt and and highlighting and promoting for this campaign, and how we have the lowest and the cheapest price for this disease, and how we're working on it, and how we are calling tourists from all over the world to come and enjoy with this program. We have 1 week program. At the first of the week, they can enjoy the medical for this disease, and they can also, within the program, visit some of our historical places, or go 3 days to Sharm el-Sheikh, or visit Luxor or Aswan. And this campaign was very good and very important at this time, accompanied with this disease.
Great.
Okay, if we talk about Sinai, and if we move there, of course, Sinai is a piece of heaven on
Heaven,
earth.
Yeah.
yes.
So, what are the must-see places in Sinai?
Yes, there is. When we are talking about ecotourism, we have there Ayun Musa. It's like 3 kilometers from El Tour city. It's really a beautiful place that it's for curing the spinal, when it comes to spinal pain and rheumatoid and rheumatism and all of these skin diseases, liver and kidney. It's really a God gift for Egypt. And there is as well Musa, Ayun Musa. It's like 100 kilometers from Suez Canal. It's also a really beautiful place in Sinai. And for myself, I have visited a lot of environmental sites in Sinai. We can refer to Dahab. They have a lot of places that you can make diving inside the sea and see the coral reefs there.
And what is Hammam Faraon?
Yes, Hammam Far'on, it's as well. It's there in Sinai. It's in South Sinai. It's full of hot springs, and it's famous of the curing the
Mm.
diseases of the skin diseases and the spinal and rheumatoid and rheumatism as well. It's Hammam Far'on.
Yes, Hoda, historically, the Egyptian Western Desert as well has been, of course, a destination for environmental treatment, especially Siwa Oasis, the hot springs there, believed capable of curing many diseases. Uh, what are the obstacles facing the full use to get the maximum potential from this area? What are the obstacles and how can we overcome them?
Because we didn't make a plans that we are working on this project to how to promote. That's what I talked about before. We didn't make more advertisements. We didn't make more short films like the films that showing in World Youth Conference last one. This make a very good, perfect promotion for Egypt. We need more from this. We need famous characters to visit and to talk about what we have in Egypt. This is treasures, not only a places. Also, we can make a project. We are working on one of these projects. It's called. Mu'min can share me with this our project
Yes,
that we are
it's health
working
and
with.
tourism.
Health and tourism.
Beautiful.
The head of this project is Mr. Khalid Fouda, governor of Sinai, South Sinai. We are talking about the place in Egypt, places that are not highlighting on it, and how we have health tourism. This are very important. Health tourism. We have many places in Egypt, 1,300 places, sites that are not highlighted until now.
Yes,
So
I
a
want.
lot of potential in that area, you
Yes,
think?
exactly.
Yeah. And Mr. Mo'min, there is a need for the private sector to have a role in initiating ecological development and help therapeutic tourism, opening up viable business opportunities, and therefore enhancing the skills and knowledge to develop, again, tourism. How do you see this? Do you agree with that? And are we reaching to the private sector? And is the private sector interested? And do they know the benefits they could bring to Egypt from getting involved in this?
Actually, all of the private sector and public sector and civil society should be participating in this huge industry in Egypt in order to make additional income to the national Egyptian income. But when we are talking about the private sector, we have already a lot of companies that they are sharing with us the conference in next May. This conference will be gathering all of the private sector and public sector as well. So from my point of view, I see that this tourism or this industry, we have to gather all of the sectors from all of the fields in Egypt in order to rise up and to get more influence on the society inter and internationally.
So the health tourism can increase, as you said, the income of the country in
Yes.
itself. It's a whole sector in itself.
Yes, exactly. Because when we are talking about tourism nowadays, we have two corners or two factors of the Egyptian national income, which is the investment and tourism. So when we are talking about tourism, we have to focus more on the different kind of tourism, not only the normal tourism. We have to focus more on this kind of different tourism because nowadays there are some of the countries on the map of the world on the medical tourism. So now on our foundation, we have made the first printed map about Egypt, about the tourism, the medical tourism in Egypt. So that's will be helping more to reach more of tourists outside of Egypt.
What is the first place on the map for health tourism in Egypt?
There is not like a specific place. The map includes الواحات الخارجة, الداخلة, الفرافرة, South Sinai, Aswan, and
Siwa, of course.
Siwa Oasis as well, and Cairo, near Cairo, Ain Helwan, and also it indicates the diseases, the most famous diseases that can be cured by these places.
Yes, we don't want it, Hoda, to be and Mu'min to be just a subject that we study in social studies, because we've been reading for years in social studies that in Egypt we do have this and that type of tourism, including therapeutic tourism and including ecotourism and health tourism. But we get the sense that we are not using the potential. We are not fulfilling our potential there. How much potential, in your view, is left? I mean, have we achieved like 50% of the potential, 30%, 20%? I don't know. You're in the field. In your view, how much of the potential is left to achieve in this very important field?
Yes, until now we didn't use our potential, because if you ask anyone abroad about our health tourism, maybe a few people will answer that we have, but we only use maybe 30 of our potential. We are not even working on this, but we are start with our project with Dr. Abdelaat Al-Manai. He is the founder of this. He studied this from 2008 until now, and we are now showing our project to the world. This conference will be under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and many of the ministers will come to our conference to show the world that we have, to let the channels like Nile TV in English, international, to show the world we have this. Come to us, come to enjoy not only our historical places, not only our
Beaches.
religion. We have another type of tourism in Egypt that very, very precious, and you can enjoy also how the pharaohs at the last enjoying these springs, and how they are very healthy. How you can be one of this, not uses chemicals. We won't use herbs. And there is Chinese uses herbs until now, but here in Egypt we have many kind of herbs. We're talking about this in our conference, that we must go back to our ancient Egyptian and use the herbs and use the springs and cure ourselves with natural aspects.
I want to add something
Yes,
as
please.
well. Our potential right now, but because we have a network of doctors specialized in a lot of the fields of medicine and medical fields, that we are serving the full service for medical tourism. Like for example, the patient when he comes to Egypt, he get the full support from the time that he arrives to the airport till the place that he go to have the cure or to have the medical support. So we are now working on this
Website. We have website.
We have the website, including the places to visit, the medical consultancy, and as well the service from A to Z. So we are now pushing forward to have the potential to be 60 and 70% in Egypt.
Yeah,
Well,
that's great.
Mu'min Osama and Hoda Saad, representatives of the Egyptian Association for Therapeutic Tourism and Ecotourism, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And, Dina, Egypt was the leader in the world of medicine for years,
Yes, of
for
course.
thousands of years.
Yeah.
It taught the world medicine. So if we take it maybe from this approach, we
Yes,
want to go back
exactly.
to,
Yes.
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
be leaders. And
We
But
can
maybe
have
we
the
must
slogan
continue.
of go back
Therapeutic
to,
We
and
are
to
now
nature.
leaders of Africa.
yeah.
Maybe we
Yeah.
will be at the head of many things. Not
I liked it when you said like maybe the people want to know how the pharaohs stayed healthy, how the
Yes.
Egyptians stayed healthy. So
Yes.
yeah, this is how we should look at it and should attract more and more in this very promising field of therapeutic and
Definitely.
eco tourism. Please stay with us, dear viewers. We'll be back, Dina and I, very shortly to continue this episode of Nile Cruise.